Welcome everyone to another episode of The Real Deal. I'm your host, Stephanie Bristow, and we have a lot in store for you tonight. We'll tell you if the much anticipated Hunger Games was a hit or miss. We'll fill you in on yet another trend taking over the film industry, and we'll tell you which actors are on the rise and which ones should be on their way out. But first, let's start with what's been going on in Hollywood this week with Hollywood headlines. The biggest thing to hit country this weekend was The Hunger Games. The first installment of Suzanne Collins' beloved trilogy premiered in theaters, taking in $155 million in its first 3 days. It was the third highest opening weekend in history behind blockbusters Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 and The Dark Knight. ABC Family has already secured the television rights of the film. You can expect to see it hit the small screen in 2014. In other movie news, the Weinstein Company has decided to release its controversial documentary, Bully, without a rating. The film made headlines when the MPAA gave it an R rating for language. Supporters were upset with the R rating because parents would be less likely to allow their children to see the film. Director Lee Hirsch and the Weinstein Company are happier with no rating, stating that the children in the film are true heroes and the language reflects the struggles they must overcome. Now that's it for this week's Hollywood headlines. As previously mentioned, The Hunger Games will be airing on ABC Family sometime in 2014. No doubt it will be interrupted with commercials and censored for violence. We here at The Real Deal hate that, but maybe none more so than Morgan's stare. Take it away with your rant, Morgan.
Movies are not meant for cable TV. Cable is for shows. A movie is best experienced in a theater, on DVD, or in any other medium where it's allowed to exist as it is, not reduced to an awful, fractured, watered-down shadow of itself. What do I mean by this? Allow me to explain. Unless it's a really kid-friendly movie, there are bound to be some scenes that are altered to meet FCC stipulations. That means less cuss words, less nudity, less violence, less of all the things that make movies entertaining and provocative. And to make it even more frustrating, the censors seem to have this weird obsession with word replacement rather than just bleeping the words. Take, for instance, this classic TV-friendly line. I've had it with these monkey-fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. It's just not the same. And the mouth movements never quite match up, so it just ends up looking like a bad Japanese dub. Also, the commercials. Every 15 minutes, the movie is put on hold for a word from the sponsors. Movies are meant to be viewed continuously from beginning to end, not broken into bite-sized little segments like some sitcom. The momentum of the story is completely derailed every time a commercial break happens, and all the tension and excitement evaporates instantly. Even with commercials, sometimes the time slots still don't work out perfectly, so they have to come up with other ways to extend the movie to fill up the programming blocks. You see it on ABC every time it's Harry Potter weekend, or, in other words, every weekend. They stick deleted scenes back into the movie, further removing it from the way it was originally intended to be seen. So in conclusion, movies shown on TV are terrible. Avoid watching them unless you're a fan of things that are incomplete, diluted, broken, or tainted. Keep our movies pure and undamaged. I'm done.
Well, thanks, Morgan. I think we can all agree to that. Now it's time for our first break. When we come back, Kaylee Russell will update us on a new trend taking Hollywood by storm, and Ryan Sexton will present us with a brand new segment. Don't go anywhere.
There's a brotherhood between us.
And I don't see you.
If you're not willing to give up everything,
As you are now.
you've already lost.
Soon we will seal the fate of this world.
This might get dangerous.
Did you chop down this tree?
What's that?
I think he did it.
That was crazy. Oh, when did I get stabbed? That's awesome. Yeah!
What did you say to your sister when you volunteered at the reaping?
I told her that I would try to win for her.
And try you will.
I just keep wishing I could think of a way to show them that they don't own me. If I'm gonna die, I want to still be me.
I just can't afford to think like that.
And we're back. This season, Kaylee Russell has been filling us in on the various trends that Hollywood just can't seem to get enough of. Now she's back with another one. Kaylee?
Be prepared. What I'm about to tell you will change the way you watch movies forever. Although I'm not an expert on color theory or color grading, I've noticed for some time that many movies look very similar. Take a look at these posters and see if you can find out what they all have in common. That's right. Teal and orange tones pop out the most. These two colors are complementary on the color wheel, so they contrast well together. I understand that certain things and people in movies need to stand out. Color correcting helps make that happen. But recently it seems as if filmmakers have just gotten lazy because the only colors that are apparent in most films, especially action films, are teal and orange. Orange is used for flesh tones and teal is used in the background to make the people stand out the most. It's a good idea, in moderation. What tends to happen, however, is the people look like they were trapped in a tanning bed for 12 hours and the sun decided to drop off the face of the universe. There is one filmmaker in particular who really overuses these colors. Yes, I'm talking about Michael Bay. All of his Transformers flicks have Shia LaBeouf looking like a Jersey Shore reject. I mean, really, that skin color is not natural. You see this with Tron Legacy, too. The background has a cool effect, and the rest of the colors are orange and yellow. But what about red, or purple, or green? Are those colors not good enough? It's unfathomable to me why teal and orange are the default colors for everything. Digital color correction has been a huge asset for filmmakers. It's no longer expensive or difficult to color correct movies. You can do it all on your computer. So why are there only two colors being used? Other than they contrast well, I cannot come up with an answer. I don't know why this is a huge trend, but it's gotten out of hand. People in the future are going to look back on some of these movies and wonder why people looked so orange when the rest of Earth was so blue and dark. It's not realistic. But it does make things pop, and maybe that's what filmmakers are going for. So the next time you watch a movie, look out for this trend. Once you see teal and orange tones, you'll see them everywhere, and you won't be able to focus on anything else. Back to you, Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylee. As promised, it's time for a new segment from Ryan Sexton. Let's find out what it's all about. Ryan?
This is a little segment I'd like to call Up and In or Down and Out, where I'll discuss the hottest stars to watch out for and discuss the ones whose careers should come to a halt. My first picks for rising stars this week are two lovely ladies who are currently battling it out for the title role in the remake of Carrie. One actress is 15-year-old Chloe Grace Moretz, who has dazzled me in everything she's done. Imagine the movie Kick-Ass without Chloe as Hit Girl. She's already played a villainous vampire in the American remake Let Me In, and is set to play a sardonic 1970s teen to another vampire in Tim Burton's Dark Shadows remake out this May. And her competition couldn't be any different. Just as deserving of some recognition is 24-year-old Haley Bennett, who first showed me her comedic timing when she debuted in 2007's Music and Lyrics starring Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore. She was even featured on the soundtrack singing Britney Spears-esque pop tunes, but Bennett fully got my attention as a snarky lesbian college student who tries to break off a relationship with a controlling witch in 2010's Kaboom. Delivering some of the best lines in this dark sci-fi comedy, Bennett proved she deserved more roles as creative as this one. So whose version of Carrie would I want to see? Moretz or Bennett's? I say make a Carrie with each of them. I can't get enough of watching someone get doused in blood at prom. So now that you know who's in, it's time to discuss who I think should hang up his hat. This is not going to make me very popular with the ladies. That's right, I'm completely over Robert Pattinson. And by now you should be too. Moody and brooding is the only role this guy knows how to play. And while everyone loves to watch the Twilight movies, no one is really going for the great acting of the cast. I watched Like Water for Elephants, hoping maybe Pattinson would deliver some real acting prowess, but I found he was just playing Edward Cullen all over again, only this time in a circus with a beating heart and without the skin that glitters in the sunlight. He never fully commands an audience's attention. Plus, it's never good when people are more focused on your personal life than your career. Hopefully, the final Twilight movie will mark an end to all things Pattinson, and I'll never have to endure his wooden acting again.
Thanks, Ryan. Time for another break. If you're one of the few who didn't catch the Hunger Games this past weekend and are still a little skeptical, Andrew Bennett and Ben Kramer will let you know if it's worth your $10 when we return. Don't move a muscle.